I'm sorry, we're growing up with the past and safari. You're searching for all the answers, which means you're leaving my side. Departing is better when served with honey. Write me letters and then the quill drops down, you drops down, you down. Little 2 cents, a pocket defense. Better leave fast, give him my condolences. Just know that I feel like I'm wasting time with the truth and a lie. So you left her and called me your friend. Think you lost sight, you needed some innocence. So lonely, I feel like I'm wasting time with the truth and a lie. I faintly remember there was a time you forgave me. Might I just recommend my service is relentless. So call me out when you're lost and I'm lonely. I'll apprehend you ever so slightly. It's time to make amends with God. Little 2 cents, a pocket defense. Better leave fast, give him my condolences. Just know that I feel like I'm wasting time with the truth and a lie. So you left her and called me your friend. Think you lost sight, you needed some innocence. So lonely, I feel like I'm wasting time with the truth and a lie. Show your pride, guess I'll fight it again. When you laughed, you went over to tell all your friends. How'd you get so bad? These habits are forming inside your Jupiter head. Show your pride, guess I'll fight it again. When you laughed, you went over to tell all your friends. How'd you get so bad? These habits are forming inside your Jupiter head.
And then boom shakalaka.
What up?
Oh shoot, you just clipped.
Oh, sorry.
Can't believe you done this.
That is one of his brothers. This is his youngest brother, Timmy.
Okay, don't talk for a second.
Oh.
No, you can talk? You can talk now.
Yeah. That's his youngest brother, Timmy. His whole family's musicians. I'm a musician too, but his whole family's musicians.
Oh yeah, I've showed Tony some of Timmy's stuff.
Yo, all right. Hey, so let's see, Eric, if you end up being in the chat, we said we're going to do you early on. So we're going to get excited. Hey, this is a huge week for us. We got, in the last 7 days, like 2,000 subs, which is crazy.
Woo!
It's crazy. I remember hitting our, 100 subs. So
For real though.
we'll never forget where we came from. Always about that grind, putting out that quality content from day one. Right, just getting better. Don't do me first. I'm not home. Okay. Tell me when you're back home, Pixel, and we'll get you, brother. So, boop, 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 boop. Yeah, good production is nice to get the subs. Mikey on production, me on the script. Greetings, Nikolai. That's funny. Like, that Nikolai is saying greetings from Denmark, and then Pixelimp is also...
Is he from Denmark?
Is also Nikolai.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and Pixelimp is from Norway?
Norway.
I don't remember. You'll have to let us know. Yes. Oh, I got it right. That's even better. Even better. Hey guys, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through form reviews for our Patreon guys at the $15 tier and above. So they get to send in their form review. We'll look it over. We do it about twice a month. This way that you're not always looking at it. And yeah, and then our private lesson students, the half hour and the full hour monthly students, of course, can send them in as well. But most of those guys will send in their form reviews or send in their form via email in prep for their private lesson. So this is mostly the $15 tier here.
Sorry.
Yeah, Twirly Bird vid is awesome for my noob form. Yeah. That
Is Tony Chinese?
Tony the Chino. Well, he's not white.
Wait a second. I did not realize that.
All right, we're gonna get started here.
That's sick, bro.
Who are we going with? Boop. We're just gonna start at the top.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got you.
Boom, and we're gonna get into Brian here. And I'm gonna try to move through these pretty. Oh no, this is Patrick. What new? Oh, here's Brian.
Yeah, this is Patrick.
Huh? No, that was Patrick.
That was Patrick.
This is Brian.
This is Brian.
Let's check it out. Now, right off, I tell guys that I really, let's go with the red box. I really like this. And so we had worked on this in a private lesson. But getting that upper body still, I like this if you're having issues with upper body and stuff like that. And you're not doing like the, Twirly Bird or the box drill or whatever. This keeps everything quiet and keeps you from punching back and pulling forward and all that good stuff. So anyways, let's move forward. So I already see what I like there. Good night. He almost came off the ground. Look at this. Whoop. Boom. Right. So you can tell, look at this. He really using the hips here. Brian, are you here, brother? If you're here, I want to talk to you. Boom. Shoo-wee. Dang. Okay, well, that's really sick. That looks crazy, brother. That looks crazy. Insane amount of torque coming from the lower body. Yeah, I like that. Oh, dude. Calvin Jr.? Calvin Sr.? Calvin's brother? With the toe drag there? That looks so cool. That looks so cool. Okay, now I do want to touch on a few things here. That when this foot steps, so he's doing an abbreviated kind of walk up, right? Usually as you would come in, as you learn the full walk up, it's going to be first step. His right step would go first. He'd be facing forward, not with his hip pointing this way, right? It would be his belt buckle pointing that way or his chest or whatever. He'd be squared up that way. And so then he'd go right step, left step, and then he'd get into what he's doing here with this foot. Okay, so he's just doing a little 3-step walk up. Good idea. But not getting distance, stick at 300 feet.
Probably meant stuck.
Yeah. So I want to look at a few things. First, I'm just going to go from the top here, and then we're going to go with the biggest issue. Now, this pump, I think, is unnecessary. This pump forward. I actually like for you just to keep it here with your step. No, I have not done Eric yet. I have not done you yet. We just got started. Brian's the first up to bat here, right? So Paul does this. And when Paul pumps here, if you're going to do the pump, here's the way to do the pump. When Paul pumps, you're doing it correctly that he does it with this leg, but he pumps the disc just with the leg, not way out here, kind of how you're, sorry. So you got leg here and you got disc up in front of the leg. He pumps it, and the disc is basically up with his hip, right? So the reason that I'm not crazy about the pump right here is because with this much forward movement, it's got to go back further, right? So it becomes a little less quiet. I just leave it here in your starting position and then do your side steps. And now as you walk, this foot right here should not be starting to turn back. You see how your toe starts kind of coming around this way and you start rotating the foot. And even here, what this allows is this is going to allow your hips and your upper body to start rotating back early. Right, so here it goes. It's going to start rotating back now. You see? And now your hips are already starting to turn away. And watch this cross step. Because of that, it also creates this longer step here. Right, or allows you to do that. And now you got your butt facing here, and your hips and chest have already basically turned around. Right? And then you're here with this foot quite back. Okay, lost pick. Tablet, low battery, and not charging. You're working on this stuff, Mikey?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it charging up?
Yes, it's charging now.
Yes.
Good look, Tony. Do you guys have the image, or was it just Brian that lost it, or did everybody lose it?
I don't think it's lost.
Pick is back. It's back. You're good. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So I'll rewind here. Just watch where my green arrows are at his hips and his upper body, and watch it start turning backwards early. Right? And so in there is no reach back video. I talked about leaving the disc inside the left foot, right? And how pros do that. Because he's turned back early, it can't do that. I'm just going to stand up and show you guys this, but I'm going to make you believe. I'm going to show you it here first, so you know I'm not lying. Yeah, this would be great. Right, and now at this point, since he's rotated his upper body back, he's got to wait in this position where he's coiled, and look how long he's at max coil here. Let me clear some of this. Look how long his shoulders are back, right? And now he's got to wait for this front foot to hit before he, right? And so now the disc is not here, but it's got to go from here. He's got to wait for this front foot to fall, and then it's going to go into that same position. Some guys do this for a second to get the timing, right? Boom. And now you fire, now you're, firing your hips and stuff like that. Thanks, Jason. And then I saw her face. Dun, 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 dun. Now I'm a believer. And I saw his face. All right. Yeah. Right. And so all that is just leading to a point where you're coiled for an extended amount of time. And the better thing is today's disc
It's so sick,
is the impact. But yeah, now you got to wait. And so you stay in this coiled position a little too long. Right? So it's not like it's more like a rubber band that you just pull back and hold for a long time and then you release, instead of whoosh, and let it stretch and then snap. The shorter you can make this time, and the faster you can coil and uncoil, the further this goes, right? So you have a very long coil and a very long wait. So to the demonstration screen.
Looks like this is working great. Give me a sec.
Not to the demonstrations thing.
Oh, it's just turned off. My phone turned off. We're good.
Okay. And that's all caused because of my foot planted backwards at the start. Yes, yeah, and this is what's sneaky, and I'm going to show you. So sideways here with this step, not an issue. I'm actually going to go this way. So if you go here with this right foot, and and you start turning, watch the disc. If I leave the disc here, and I start turning my foot this way, it automatically pulls the disc behind my body, right? So let's say I just go here and then I start twisting this left foot. This is more common than what you're doing, where you go here and then people start taking this really long step and twist back. And you see here, just by leaving the disc in place and my arm in place, I've rotated back early, so now the disc is back early, right? And it's behind my body this way. And so then you can't time this. In order to time the hit where it goes here, you know, everybody talks about you have to fall onto the foot, right? Which some people do. Like Ricky is a good example of that. Some pros like look at that and figure out how to make it happen, right? I think, and Ricky bombs for sure, but people like Eagle, instead of doing it that way, instead of, you know, waiting for this front foot to hit, and like falling where the disc is out here and then it falls this way, right? They just go here, leave the disc, and then their body stretches out and rotates back. And then by the time the front foot hits, they reach max coil, right? Which is very different from I'm already max coiled and now I'm falling for this, you know, half a second, because it's a little less elastic, right? Because what you want to do is, I think ideally, in my opinion, you would reach max coil with your upper body at the same time that the front foot hit, right? And that's why they keep talking about, you know, front foot hit, blah, 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 right? So that is something you can look for. But yeah, it all starts here with this leg. If you start turning these legs early, either the way you're doing it with this right leg, and then you especially do it with this leg, right, where you have this large crossover step and it comes back like this and turns your hips and arms back. Even if you're doing nothing with your your disc gets back early, and then boom, because your passive up here and rotates back. So instead, what you want to do is when you come, if you're going to start with a 3-step, this foot should be about perpendicular. I'm not like making law here. Perpendicular is not law. So anyways, about perpendicular, and then this left foot, super key, needs to come here, about perpendicular. That way, it doesn't have time to pull your hips back and your upper body with it. Right here keeps your hips and everything here. So when you go here, now we load the hips, and then we coil the upper body against the hips. All right, and all that's just that compressed kind of spring type deal. So a full walk up, for those of you who are watching, if you want to do the 5-step, that's why it's really important to start with this step straight forward, right step straight forward, left foot straight forward, because now your hips are here. And then you go here, and now your hips are still, or starting to point to the target, and boom, with this, the hips are still this way, and then just on the last step, it's a load and unload, instead of here, loading, unload, right? So that's what I would focus on. And now some people have asked me about this, which is, it's here, can this foot, how far away can this back foot be facing? Because I saw Thomas Gilbert and his foot was facing back here, right? There's not a hard rule for that. It's dependent upon your hip flexibility. And if you can get your hips further back because you're flexible and still activate your hips and get them rotating into the shot, then it's not too far probably, right? The second that you turn it and now your hips can't rotate into the shot because you've closed them off too much and they do nothing for you, then it's too far, right? So, but I would recommend facing kind of, 45 degrees off here, or kind of like 135-ish for most people. That would, carry maximal amount of people. Shut your mouth. What are you saying?
I said shut your mouth earlier.
Oh.
What's this say? He said, dang it, Mikey, you have one job.
Yeah. Could grip screw up otherwise decent form? Yeah, it's pretty decent. Again, there's a big difference between being in that coiling. How long of a last step is recommended? It's not. It depends on shot length, and it depends on what your... The key is that front foot hits and then falls and then you go, right? So I don't even know who Jim Oates is. Anyways, so it's more about leaving the disc there and letting your shoulders coil back, and then once that foot hits and smashes down, or maybe even slightly before that, uncoiling. So that's that. Now, what I do want to see is and to make up for that, by the way, to make up for his hips being a little closed off, like you see here, how that's kind of past that 45 degrees, what a lot of people do is what Brian does here, and he opens up this front foot, and by open, I mean it's not, perpendicular. It starts coming this way a little bit. That's open. And that gives his hips more range of motion so that he can rotate them, even though his feet are too far backwards, right? So eventually that foot will be more closed off. Closed or... Anyways, talking about a closed or open front foot, there's a lot to be discussed there. Pros basically have it closed, but I wonder if in the future we'll see more open. And here's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to see if he's got any nose up issues, is the last thing. Forgetting, if he's getting... 300 feet, because this is pretty good. He should be able to... Yeah, it looks like a 450 rip, but again, just the fact that he's coiled here and that his hips are, rotated too far back is going to cost him a lot, right? Yeah, and to me, I wouldn't be surprised if this is nose up.
It looks like it.
Yeah, it looks like just a touch nose up. Yeah, it looks like he's just rotating with a little brace. Yeah. Now, I don't have the greatest brace. It might be non-existent. But I can crack 400 for sure.
And I have 0 brace, and I can almost hit 500. So.
Yeah, so...
I legit have 0 brace.
I know we did a brace video and all that, but when I talk to people one-on-one and, this is what they're doing, I really don't have all of that much of an issue, with not having a huge brace. Understanding that's like disc golf heresy, but I think that's probably a good to great type thing. Yeah, his hip and knee turn lag looks great, right? He's doing it. I think what you have to understand is your body has an optimal range of motion for each movement, right? So, like, if you're doing a curl, let me show this. This is way longer than I intended. But if you're doing a curl, right, your arm is the strongest right here at this 90 degree. It's in the middle of, this is Dan Beal. Thanks for this conversation we had. But your arm has this whole range of motion, right? From here all the way down to here. So basically 180 degrees, right? The strength in the place that your arm is most functional is in the middle of that range of motion, which is about 90 degrees, right? If you have to hold on to something and you're like this is a very weak spot, and this is also very weak, right? But if you have to hold something, this is the best place to hold it. Your arms are are the strongest right here. How in the world does that actually matter? Because your hips have about a 90-degree optimal rotation, and they're strongest in the middle of that 90-degree rotation. So if you go here and you turn too far back, right, and you go to 6 o'clock, then that means that your hips are going to be the strongest at 9 o'clock. The issue is that the disc isn't coming out at 9 o'clock. So when you go to 6 o'clock, your hips are strongest right here. So if Brian was able to throw the disc from right here, he would utilize his hips the best, right? But since he has to pull the disc here, he's going past the optimum use point, right? I'm not trying to make this sound super technical, but Mikey, just shut me up if I'm going too long, right? So he's getting great hip rotation, but the disc is coming out after his hips have already been at their, greatest, highest high. I'm trying to dumb this down and make it easier, but I think it's simple enough, right? So hips here, boom, that would be the best spot. So he's got to get his hips here to make the adjustment for the disc coming out here, right? And that's a big difference. That's a big difference in distance, right? So anyways, nose angle. Nose angle, I've talked about this, but I will mention it again. The reason why it looks slightly nose up to me, like right here. Yep. It looks a touch nose up. Now, two ways that people fix that, and this is going to be our next video. Some people, pour the coffee like this, because by the time you get around here, the disc will be nose down if you pour the coffee. The other way is called supination. And the easy way to remember that, again, shout out to Dan Beal, because I'd never heard this in all my time teaching tennis. The way you can remember supination is as if you're holding a bowl of soup. Like, what the heck? How come nobody told me that? Right? So you go here, and you have the disc here, and then at the end of it, you go, I want a bowl of soup, right? And this motion, this rotating of the forearm called supination, will pull the disc nose down, right? So, watch. I'm gonna do like a Garrett Gurthie start here, where my disc is totally down. I'm not pouring coffee, right? Here, I would like some soup, right? And now I can pull the nose down. Same thing, and I just rotated my forearm up, right? And look at where his forearm ends up. See how his forearm ends up down? And you can tell because his thumb's underneath, right? You need to try to get it to where his thumb's up. And this is hard because in sports, we always pronate, which is the opposite. I don't want your stinking soup, right? Get that corn out of my face.
Get the corn out of my face.
All right? And so you pronate. Does that not put it on a weird anti-angle? Ask Simon Lizotte. Simon Lizotte does this. He goes from here and then goes boop. And then he whips it. And he can go flat, he can go anti, he can go hyzer. And then you learn how to adjust that with your body. I guess, right? And then you can start doing what Paul talks about in his field work video called We Need to Talk about this is hyzer, this is flat, this is anhyzer, right? Because as long as you got this point the same and you're always supinating the same amount, you can adjust here, right? Because then your throw release point becomes consistent, right? That's kind of a prerequisite to it. So you go, boom. If I want to throw hyzer, I can start here and go and supinate all I want, and it's going to be a hyzer because I'm bent over from this view, right? Boom. And now I have supinated. The nose is down in reference to the rest of the disc, right? This would be nose up for a hyzer. If I push my thumb underneath, right? Or I rotate to where my fingernails, anyways, palm up, palm down, basically. Right? Boom, right? And then flat, same thing. And I adjust my upper body. Annie, lean back. Boom. And now that's an Annie, but they're all nose down. Anyways, that's going to be our next video.
I like it.
Supination seems a lot more comfortable than pouring coffee. It is. But, yeah, that was the thing for me, is I tried pouring the coffee, and I didn't like the tension in my wrist. I thought, how could that be good? There's not been a sport that I've been a part of where they're like, you know, tension is a good thing. But if you watch Ezra's newest video, well, maybe it's not his newest, maybe it's like his second or third newest video, but he talks about his distance comp, and he thinks about pouring the coffee. And we're seeing this in golf too. But anyways, we're not here to talk about all of that. I'm giving you guys like my next video written out. It requires timing the supination, which I find difficult. Yeah, and the thing is it's going to be difficult. Like in tennis, creating a good contact point out in front is difficult. But once you work on it, once you get it, it makes everything perfect. And then you always just keep that same out in front contact point, and the pros do it over and over again. Ball golf, that's a very small ball, and they've always got to hit it, you know. They want to hit it out in front, or they even change that a little bit, you know, hit more under the ball or more behind the ball. Same thing. Soccer, you know, contact point relatively the same, out in front. If you want to hit a little higher, you get under the ball a little more. You want to hit a little more flat, you get, you know, on the side of the ball a little bit more. Boom, left, right, but it's always out in front. So anyways, getting the contact point consistent or the release point consistent in disc golf, that's just going to be part of the game, right? And until then, you're going to be forced, until you do that, you're going to be forced to change the angle with this, where you can throw the same thing, but if you want a hyzer, you pull and you go whoop, and you just flip it, right? And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a consistent release angle. And that's how I think most of these guys, that's how most of these guys figured when they're like, I threw out in the field. I don't think they went and they were like, I'm pouring the coffee. And that's how I can fix my nose down problem. I think they saw, oh, that thing's going up. Let me figure out how to get that thing nose down by the time I release it. And then they just supinated. So anyways, so that's how to fix the nose issue thing, Brian. Good thing we got all that weight up front, because I won't have to talk about it again the rest of the stream with the rest of these people.
It's freaking me out. We got 84 viewers.
Yeah, we got a lot of people on. Okay. Cadunzo with him. Who else is on here? Stokely mentioned to me I flipped my wrist and I didn't know what he was saying, but I see it now with your explanation. Yeah, it's super. And here's the thing, is you get a greater range of motion when you go like this and when you pronate, because you can follow through easier. If you go like this and you go, I want some soup, and you try to come up and over like this, that's as far as I can go, right? But if I go here, I've got all this motion, and my body can, you know, follow that. So you get more arm motion when you pronate, and that's why hyzers can go further, and you can just throw them faster, because you have a larger range of motion, and you can follow through better. So I need to first fix my first step and limit disc movement from hitbox. Yeah, I just go here and I wouldn't do the forward pump. If you're going to do it, it's got to go up with the right hip and stick there, and then that's the point that you're moving around. Yeah, that's what I took away from my review. Yeah, and then fix the walk up so that you're not going backwards with the hips early. Cool deal. If you're here and we got your form review, shout it out. Jason, right? Jason's here. Where's your form review video? I'm looking for... Yep. Gotcha. And you only gave us a forehand?
Yep.
Video? Cool deal. Let's watch it. I would like in the future for this to be from the side. Okay. Now let me ask you, did you build your forehand off of, it looks kind of like either you're doing like the Avery Paul pendulum swing, or you're doing it because you watched Scott Stokely videos. And it'd be beneficial for me to know which one of those causes you to pull the disc down like this. Do these happen with any sort of regularity? Is there a schedule? We do them about twice a month when we've got enough of our Patreon subs that has given us stuff to look at. Once in the beginning of the month, once in the middle of the month is what we're trying to go for. Building off Paul forms. Good to know. Okay. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Here we go. Any kind of so any kind of like injuries or anything like that? Any kind of soreness after you practice forehand? Okay, I'm gonna say that the follow-through footwork looks. These are just my initial thoughts. Biggest thing. With sex and top, if that makes sense. Yeah, and I don't mind, like, this is pretty good. Like, this setup with the footwork, Eagle-esque, don't mind that at all. Don't mind that at all. What I personally would probably look at first yeah, you just want to make sure that these hips stay away from the target, that they're not opening up early. Oh, you got a little Sexton shirt on too, don't you? Yeah, so this is the biggest issue, and a lot of people have problems with this. Look at where your arm is and where the disc is. Right? It is behind your body. Right? We want to keep disc and arm on this side of your body. It should not come behind your body at any point. Right? Right, because now you've got like a weird line where the disc has to come around your body here, and not just the disc, more importantly, your elbow has to swing around your body. Right, and since your elbow is swinging this way, your elbow comes from here to here. The disc, sorry, let me draw new lines. Here to here, the disc wants to swing out here. Right? And so if I were the disc, I'd always want to come out about, let me change this. I'd want to come about here. Right? Because that's where your upswing is. And so the disc is going to want to come out between like the downswing and the upswing. Right? Boom. And in order to fight that, you're doing some kind of gymnastics with the rest of your body, right? So let me show you. Sorry. Go back here. And this comes all the way back to this right here. This moment. I'm going to leave that moment there. Okay? This is why I really, really advocate this left arm. Right? Because if your left arm goes up like it's doing here, you're going to already start opening up the chest, and couple that with the disc behind you and you've got some interesting timing issues. But the disc and your arm should be all out here. It should be like you're, covering, like you're holding something right here. Like you're I don't even know. Like if you watched the movie The Prestige, where it's got that old magician, he does a little fishbowl trick, right? That should be you. You should be covering something right here, right? Not back here. So it's here, boom. And the elbow stays on this side of your body. The disc stays on this side of your body. Now, if you're going to come down and do it like, Paul, it stays out here still and it comes around, right? And Paul gets to this position where this elbow is still out here on this side of his body. Once it comes here, you're going to come around and you're going to screw up the swing. People talk about off-axis torque, confession. I don't have a clue what that is, but I would imagine if it's anything, it's this. Like when your elbow and your swing has to come here, and then you're trying to torque the line of your swings coming this way, and then you're trying to torque the disc this way because that's where the target's at, right? So if that's not the definition of off-axis torque, then I don't know what would be. But anyways.
You said off-axis torque. Or fascist torque.
A fascist Porsche. Right? So it should all be over here. And you can even just simplify it up here. But this is this right here. This is keeping your shoulders closed and away from the target. This is creating space. Your left arm creates space for the disc to be over here. Right? And boom. And then it creates this counter motion when you start swiping it away. But you open. But notice, I'm still here with my body. Right? So I'm here. Let me try to do it like Paul. I don't practice this. Right? And then I would do that. Personally. Again, keep it. Boom. Whoosh. And this right here, this motion is very strong. And then the elbow comes in tight. Right? So I'd practice going here. And then I'd be interested to see what happens with your legs because of that. Because right now, you're going here, and you're going like here. And I don't know if you're punching this leg forward to try to, like, I don't know if that's how your body is coping with trying to torque the disc back on this straight line. And so it like forces this leg up to swing this line over or not. But that'd be kind of a guess. So anyways, if you're going here, boom. If you want to keep this, right? I recommend with people usually just to start here, somewhere over here. But again, covering this way. This is where the magic happens, not back here, because it has to come around your body. So that's what I got to say on that. My forearm rolls over a lot, causing me to either turn it over or it turns into a roller. That happens. Whoop. Yeah, what's funny is I was talking to somebody. I was talking to Kevin RV8, since you're on our Discord, about that. When you start opening, if you keep your, disc here, once you start opening here, the natural thing is for this to kind of turn into an Annie, right? When you start opening your hips too early, right? The cause in most cases of that is that they come here and they start pronating early. And so people talk about wrist roll. It's not that it doesn't happen. Everybody does it. Even Ricky does it, where he goes, whoop. But you got to do it after the disc is gone. So, but anyways, I think some of that might change just staying here, right? Just with this. And then we can talk on Discord if you still have issues after that, of course. Can you fix that crooked picture? It's driving me crazy. What picture? Oh, in the background?
Oh, is that what he's talking about?
Which one? He must be talking about something over here. For Tony. I got it.
It's like all crooked, to be honest.
Okay, well, the bird picture is not crooked anymore. You're welcome.
It still looks like it, though. Look. You look at it.
The bird picture is straight. You just got to look at it like it's some kind of Van Gogh or something. Absolutely, Jason. Next.
You have to click it again. Yeah, there you go.
Boom. Okay. Eric. Sir?
Is it long sleeve?
This is Eric.
Yeah. That's Eric.
All right, Eric, let's take a look, brother. Gonna go with the double slow-mo. He's bouncing, getting athletic. I can dig it. Aha. Okay. So, I've talked about everything I'm going to talk about in this form review in the very first one. So, again, you guys should be looking at this and seeing the same thing. Again, he started with the quiet upper body, which I really like. I cannot tell you how much. He is not pouring the coffee, so he's got another method to get the nose down. Let's fast forward to here, and let's look. All right, here it comes, here it comes. He's going to throw this nose up, and then we're going to look at his thumb. Or, oop. Oop. Watch where his hand goes. Watch where his fingers start going. Hard to see, but they're going to go from here, one frame over. His hand starts going down, right? So he says, I don't want your stinking soup. Right? And so that means that the last thing he told his disc was this. He goes, here, boom. And when you start rolling this way, it goes, flight plate exposed. Just grab a disc. If you're at your house right now, you should have already been trying that and experimenting with that. Right? Boom. Right? But if you go like this and you go, boom, I want your soup, right? You go here, no matter what you do back here, right? You go here and you go, boom, I want your soup. It's the top of the disc, which is more nose down, right? So we've already talked about that. But yeah, boom, you see that? Starts pushing it down with his fingers. Okay, so that's thing one. What, as athletic as I get, I'm afraid, because I was talking about his bouncing. That's so funny. Hey, we love self-depreciating humor here, because that's the only type of humor I got. Now, again, we talked about this. Watch this foot right here. Long step. You should just, right here, you should just go. Whoops, you should go, boom, just tuck that foot right there. Don't let it go all the way over there, right? Because letting it go all the way over there, it's like giving yourself time to turn it away like this. You see, and this one ends up walking completely backwards, right? This foot gets completely backwards, right? And now his hips. Oh, I didn't know I was zoomed in. I was like, dang, he like got his very bottom of his feet. You didn't screw up, I screwed up, right? And now look. His hips and all this are all the way further back than they're supposed to be or supposed to get, right? They're already at 6 o'clock. They're only supposed to get to about 7:30. It's good to arrive early, but not like that. And then watch. And here comes the toe lift. See this? Week, 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 week. Right? The toe lift. And the reason that happens is because if your hips are that far back, you've either got to really open up this front foot so that you can get some sort of hip rotation, which I'm not advocating, or you end up just falling backwards towards this foot, butt first, right? And so what that means is you're not able to leverage the ground to rotate, right? And you get a little bit open with your foot here, so you do manage to get a little bit of the rotate, right? So again, I would go back to Brian, the very first person, if you need more on that Eric, I'd go back to him because it's basically the exact same thing that he's doing. Not basically, it is the exact same thing. You're both starting with a 3-step and you both have the same exact problem, right? Let me give you one other way to kind of address that, and this is probably another video that's going to come out pretty soon. We got so many videos that we want to do, but alas, we both work full time. So here's another way to do it. If you have trouble and you cannot get yourself to stop going here, right? Just don't let the weight settle on this right leg. Whoop, and give yourself time to get your hips back early. Instead, do the crow hop. Here, boom. And now you get your weight here, and since your foot's here and your weight's here, your hips are still here. So now you can get the coil, uncoil, right? That's why I really like the crow hop. And that's why one of our next videos is going to be, oh, I forgot Colby was right there. I see this blanket moving, dude. I was like, what the heck? But yeah, anyway, so that's why I like the crow hop. Because it starts loading the hip, and it gets you kind of athletic here. And then you get this rotate, but your hip doesn't get too far back. It doesn't give yourself time to do that. So you eliminate that kind of as a possibility, unless you started doing this. Right, and going backwards, but you would feel really stupid doing that, or I would hope that you would feel really stupid doing that. So hopefully it will bring that out of there. Okay, moving on. Eric, if you have any questions on that, after you watch, if you didn't already watch the first video, but I'm pretty sure you've been here the whole time. Any questions, Eric? Let me just ask it like that. Yeah, Mike. So the thing with the balance is you just got to get lower into that left leg. You got to let your weight settle down and, and load that leg. If you don't load the leg and you try to get balance on a straight leg, it's going to be super hard, right? One more time. With the crow hop here. Right, 2 ways to get into this.
Oh, sorry. I hit the wrong scene.
2 ways to get into the crow hop. You can go here and get straight leg and where you can't balance, right? But where your balance comes from is getting deeper. And then your stabilizer muscles and all that, and the muscles in your leg can get involved, right? But from a straight leg, it becomes harder to balance. And that's not me like faking bad balance. It's just harder to do, right? So you go here, boom. And then you should be good here. Right? And you get that sweet athletic load. Pronate, focus on the fingers, on the follow through. Yeah, or getting your palm up, either way. Smaller F step and looking at maybe crow hopping. Yes, yeah. And the smaller X step was so that you don't turn your foot backwards here. So that your foot doesn't go here. It's a smaller X step so that your, why am I having it? Left foot, I don't know why I had such a hard time with that. Your left foot ends up staying basically perpendicular to the target, keeping your hips pointing at us instead of turning early here. All right, that's all allowed by your footwork. I can totally see there being a sick crow-themed overthrow shirt. I'd wear that. We were thinking about making one out of the twirly bird stuff.
Yes, bro.
So, all right, onward. I should delete.
New Pixel? He said he was home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you were thinking about deleting them as you go?
Yeah, but I didn't know. Oh, I just do this, right?
Yep.
Undone. Who else did I do? Right here.
Yeah. You got it. So tech savvy, Josh.
Okay. Nikolai. Good. Let's watch moment of truth, because he's doing a 3-step. So this foot right here is going to determine a lot of things. Let's see if he does it correctly. Okay. Okay, so it was close. But let's see if the hips get back early because this foot is pretty far back already. Going, going, going. Did the hips get back to 6? Right? And again,
He may be doing a Simon throw.
we usually say the disc should stick there, right? But if you end up rotating back early, then the disc is going to be out here, and then you're going to have to wait for this front foot to hit, and you'll be totally stretched out and waiting to fall versus stretching out at the same time. So anyways, we already mentioned that. I'm just rehashing it a little bit since you might not have been here for all that, Nikolai. Do you video yourself without a disc? Oh, he was asking Eric that. Funny part is when I practice without a disc, I don't turn my foot backwards. That's everybody, dude. Once you get this disc in your hand, your brain chemistry changes. So you have to be aware of that, and that's why you have to practice with a disc, without a disc, with a disc, without a disc, and going back and forth until they both line up. Anyways, onward. So boom. So he plants this foot here. Wait just one stinking minute. Okay. Max coil. Yeah. And let me just show you guys what I mean here. With, because this is mind-blowing, right? Let me show you what I mean. Whoop. So here we go. Now, okay, you guys are going to call me a liar here. I forgot about this. He has a ridiculously long X step. But what he does that you guys don't do when you have a long X step is his long X step with his hip flexibility and all that doesn't make this foot point backwards.
Because the hips are still towards.
Right? He points it this way, and he's got more hip flexibility than most of you, but his hips are still just off 90. Right? You guys, when you do that, you go, right? And so before you guys hop on my case here and say, Eagle's got a huge X step, I didn't say that you couldn't have a huge X step, but I'm saying that it allows you, it gives you the time, and when you got time to mess something up, you're going to mess it up, right? Right? If I leave my kids alone too long in a room by themselves, danger, right? You guys are no different. Right? Boom. So he does it, but he's not coiled up all the way yet. Look at his shoulders. Whoops. Look at his shoulders. Look at his hips. They're just barely back. Right? And then the disc, we showed this, and you're already talking about it, but this is ridiculous. Watch this. That's the line that the disc is at. The disc does not move. It's crazy, right? And so he has, because he's not coiled yet. Here we go. And now what's moving the disc, right? Why there's no reach back and why I said all that is now he's coiling his body, his upper body, against his lower body, and his hips are going to get a little more rotated, but his upper body's more. So let's go back here. Look at his shoulders. Rotating. And some of you guys at this point, watch. If you do it this step, like this, you get your hips turned away, and watch. His upper body is coiled way past, and so then his arm gets straight early. And so now what happens is instead of the disc being able to stick in place, Nikolai has to wait. It has to have this move. The disc is going to come this way because he's waiting for this front foot to hit. Boom. All right. right? So that's why I say that. There's other things we're going to talk about with Nikolai, but I've referenced this a lot, so I felt like I would show you guys. Check out Eagle's disc, check out Eagle's disc. And now as he rotates his upper body, look at where his shoulders are now, right? Just now he's hitting that, and then he gets full extension with his hand. Boom. And now he's at max coil. Right? Boom. And then it goes snap. And then everything starts going. Right? So that's what I've been referencing. I wanted to show you guys. So that, whoops. So I wasn't just talking, you guys had no idea what I was saying. So now in this case, the thing is your step actually needs to be longer to accommodate, right? Because the disc doesn't actually get back to here, right? So your step would have to be way longer to accommodate. So actually, the issue there is not take a longer step. The issue is sticking the disc there and then rotating so that you don't have to time and figure out the length of this front step. Twirly bird is the way. I'm loving the twirly bird too. I'm not gonna lie, I watched that second throw like a cajillion times. I found out how to loop it, and you guys can call me self-absorbed if you want, but I put in a lot of hours in field work. So, and I used to do this stinking tugging thing, so I was moderately pleased with my progress. Right? And here's the thing, is we talked about, you got to go back and figure out the hip rotation videos, the hip rotation drills, because watch your hips here, right? Your hips don't move first. We've got a little bit of shoulder movement here, but the hips need to rotate first. Right? And this is head belt buckle thing. This is help. If you were to look, right, here's head, here's belt buckle. I'm going to try to put it to where it actually is on his body, right? Here's belt buckle, so it almost goes a little bit this way, right? I made his head's not that huge, right? It looks really bad, right? And now as we go here, clear? Let me find a different color for the head because I don't want it to look like this. Right? Head, belt buckle. And he's got this nice zipper on here, right? That's kind of showing us. Right? So people talk about hold the spine back or your spine's out of alignment or whatever that crap means. They're talking about head and belt buckle. All right? So what this means is if this is the line between your head and your belt buckle, it means that you pulled with the upper body first. Right? You went boom and try to get into the shot. Right? And you can see that there's a bit of pull here. Whoop. Boom. And that's how he's getting his force, is basically, it's still a pull. You got a boring huck face. You kind of want a boring one. Right? Now, this certainly isn't the worst. But yeah, this is part of, throw that left arm down. Once your hips, you probably don't have super flexible hips, right? So when I tell people how far should this back foot be, a lot of people are like, I'm trying to keep that back foot perpendicular. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying get that back foot about 45 or something like that, right? Yours is about there, however many that is. A lot, right? So get your back foot turned in a little more. Don't go, you've actually rotated too far back with your hips because you're not able to use them in the shot, even though you're trying to. Right? And so again, I'd start here. I'm gonna go big screen here. About 100 meters on a good throw. So that's about 300 and what, 30 feet? 300, a little over 300.
I gotta plug this thing in because it likes to go to sleep on me.
Yeah, well, they can see me, so we're good.
Yeah.
right? So again, I like this here because if you go here and your foot's basically straight, basically perpendicular to the, the target, then all you're doing is, and you can try this here, when you try to rotate your hips back, because this foot is straight, there's a coil here and you can feel the coil. There's tension here inside the leg, right? And that's you coiling, your hip against the mobility of your like pelvis against the mobility of your femur, right? But anyways, you can feel that coiling effect, right? Right now you're back here and your hips are here. There's no way you could possibly coil back that far, right? So get it here. Boom, get that step here or get the little hop going and then do it. And you'll feel that your hips want to stay here and you have a little more range of motion with your upper body. So again, starting with the disc here, leaving and coiling, coiling, and then from here, this is the hip drill, right? Boom, right? Boom. So that's what I would work on. It's mostly a footwork thing for you, and that's going to allow you to not pull, right? But right now with your hips this far rotated back, in order to get the disc around, you have no choice but to use your upper body and overuse your upper body. Yeah, it's rough. It's very frustrating if you go out in the field and it's like, okay, I fixed it this time. Let me check the video just to make sure. And you're like, I didn't fix it. You're like, okay, yeah. I fixed it that time. I do with students all the time where I video them, like my tennis students and stuff like that. Like, okay, show me what you think you did that time. And then they'll show me, they'll be like, with their strings down or something. And then, all right, come check out the video. And they're like, bonk, like that. And you're like, what? I didn't even feel like I was doing that. So, yeah. All right, so that's that. Nikolai, if you got any questions, let me know. Dang. That's nuts. All right, so let me go here. Boom. Next, who else is here? So that left foot is my next big focus. Yeah, I would say so. I'd say getting the lower body allows you to do the upper body stuff. Correct. Mike. I'm sure you never heard that before.
What? That one just starts black.
Oh, I was like, what? Hello? Wow, sweet net. Dang. Mustache game on point.
I know, bro. He's got the best mustache.
Okay. So let's go back.
Mikey Rice.
Moment of truth, everybody. I'm about to make a video on this if everybody does this today. Okay, a little hop, but notice at the end of the hop where his foot is. Right, again. Backwards. Look at the hips. Already away, butt already, and you got a nice butt, but not necessary right here. You do some squats, probably lift, bro. Look at this guy, he's strong. That's it. That's the thing that coaches look at.
That's the type of form we look at right there.
Yeah, no, I remember, this is story time. I remember the day where I was like teaching this clinic for like high school girls, and this girl came in, and it was like, man, she must be like a volleyball player, right? And you start looking at like different athletic attributes, like the calf. Like, wow, I bet you that person's quick. They got huge calves. And you start attributing like different. You start looking at like physical attributes, and you start saying like, oh, I bet you that person's really good at that, or really good, and you start seeing it from a coach's perspective. I just remember thinking, man, this is like probably really weird. Like, I should not tell somebody this, and now I'm telling you guys. So,
back to form reviews.
Yeah.
Not body form reviews.
Anyways, so whoop, back foot backwards, hips backwards. It allows that. What's up, Ben?
Is Ace one of our Patreon supporters?
He is.
Did he give us a video review?
Wait, no. I didn't pull yours in here, Ace, because because we talked about it yesterday in private lesson. So yeah. So okay, back foot, and now the hips, and the shoulders and everything's gonna get back way early. Look, and now the dip. So here we go. Shoulders back way early. Now he's got to wait, and he's got to wait for this front foot to fall. Boom. And look, here's the compensation tool again. People opening up this front foot. Right? Look, the foot is closed now. Boom. And he lands it with the foot open. And the reason he's landing it with the foot open is because that's naturally how you increase your range of motion for your hips. Right? And if you want to try that, stand with your feet together like this. Sorry, feet together like this, and see how far you can rotate. I'll show you. Screw that. I'll just. All right. Feet together, shoulder width apart. Here's how far back I can turn. Here's how far forward I can turn. Right? Take your right foot and open it up. Here's how far back I can turn. It's the same. Here's how far forward I can turn. Right? So now I got this whole increased range of motion. Right? But right now, the reason your body's doing that is so that you have the increased range of motion for your hips, because it has to do it. Right? Because your hips were back here. Right? So instead of being able to go from here to here, your hips have to go from here to here. And it says, where can I find some extra range? Oh, I know. I'll open up this front foot and get me turning. Right? But it's activating the hips the wrong way. Right? So you got to get the hips involved, but you got to get them involved the correct way. And it's because you're wanting them to go, not because like, oh crap, they got to go. How can I make that happen? Open front foot. Right? So oh, by the way, Josh, I mentioned in my email that I'm pulling everything over to the right. Sorry, I'm thinking back to this thing. Let me get back to that. Right? And so boom, and then look, now he's got to wait for this foot to fall, and his disc was too far back, and so now he goes deep into this leg. Right? And his disc actually ends up being in the correct spot, but again, the way he had to do it was he had to load way down into this front leg to do it. So he does this little squats. We can get back into that topic again if you guys want. All right, and then he goes. Right, so again, this is a foot thing here. And you know, I think no, this is what caused the most common backhand problem video. Maybe we just need to do a more thorough like walk-up video. Right. Boom. Yeah, and it's all caused from the same problem. Now, what I'm looking at for here is if he's drawing the bow. Right? If he's pulling this disc in. Or if he, I mean, it's, oh, nose up issues, right? So check this out. Again, we already talked about this. So I'll hit this first and I'll come back. So nose up issue, check out I don't want your stinking soup, right? Is what he says here, right? No, we want soup, right? I want your soup, right? So get that palm, get that arm supinating. I want your soup, right? And you won't go nose down like that, right? But the reason we do this is because it gives us more range back here and it feels better, which is super interesting because the supinator, anyways, doing this is not a very strong motion, but it's what we have to do to get the nose down. So it's super interesting. Yes, please, more thorough video. Your coaching is awesome. Thank you. So anyway, so let me hit the nose up thing because you're definitely doing that. Yeah, take a smaller step here. Get the foot, boom. Same exact thing that I talked about with the, super interesting. The same exact thing that I talked about with the first 3 people. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people. You got the moonwalk going on here. Boom. And you're fighting it, like, props to you, like your arm, you're keeping your arm loose and letting it stretch out and the disc is going in place. And you're doing that to the best of your ability, right? But your legs aren't letting you do it as good as you could be. So practice that walk up and then that will allow you to, rotate those hips. What are you guys talking about here? Some love notes going back between Mikey and Ben.
We're just texting.
Do you offer private video lessons? If so, can you explain that a little? Or can you explain that a little? Yes, we do private video lessons. Everything's done through our Patreon. So that's...
I did link it in the description.
It is linked in the description below. So we do 30 minutes or an hour's worth. Yeah. So it's a 30 minutes or an hour are the options that you have, and that's over the course of a month. And people do that either. Some people do it right in a big chunk, but it just depends on what you need. So sometimes somebody will send me an email of their form, and then I'll take a look at it. We'll hop on, and I'll do kind of this, and I'll talk through this with them, and we'll work through personal ways to do it. And then maybe that takes 10 or 15 minutes, and then they hop back on for another 15-minute session later, or maybe they have an hour-long worth of that. Or sometimes people are in tournaments, so we're talking about shot selection and mental things. Just depends on what you need. You should show Mason Ford's backhand mechanics. Amazing, efficient, and smooth. I need to have a good, high-quality clip of that. That would be sweet. So yeah, same thing here. Whose am I doing right now? This is Mike's. So Mike, any questions? Mike. You know where to find us, Ben. On our Discord. Also, as a added bonus for you guys, Ben's on our Discord.
Yeah, for real though.
Okay, I'm going to assume that we're good. Disc golf weekend. Mason looks a lot like Bradley Williams. So yeah, Bradley Williams got super quiet form. Okay, what am I doing? Taking that. Deleting. We're getting closer to completed. I'm going to pick somebody else. Aha. Corwin.
Alright, so we did Mike.
We did Mike. Yeah, Corwin, we saw your form last time on our form review. So let's see the improvements. Okay, again, I've got a love-hate relationship with this forward pump. If you're going to do it, you got to do it the right way. Okay. The forward, okay. Let's just put this to rest right now. Right now. And then I will have solved all of disc golf's forward pump problems. The forward pump, I actually know how it came about. in how it was practiced. Will this guitar case stand up on its own?
I think so. I can make sure.
Stay.
I think it will.
Okay. So, here is how Paul Macbeth learned to keep the disc in place. Or so I believe. Maybe Paul doesn't endorse this, I don't know. But anyways, he learned by grabbing. Okay, let me rephrase it like this. I had issues, and I asked Paul how I should fix my issue, and he told me that this is how I should practice it. That I can say authoritatively because he told it to me. So here, you should go up, grab like a pole, if you had like a pole in your basement, or you could do it with a tree or whatever. So you go, grab, and the pole obviously does not move, right? And then you go, and then you walk past it, right? And so that's what Paul's doing when he keeps this disc in place or when he does his pump. Right? That's not what you guys are doing when you do y'all's pumps. That's what Paul's doing though. Right? Paul's doing it in part to keep the disc. He grabs a pole right here. Boom. Disc grabbed. The disc is the pole, if you haven't made that connection. And it's pumped here, right? And he pops his hip forward. And when he does this, it keeps his weight back towards this rear leg. Okay? So he goes, pop here. It is in place from this moment on. And then he goes past it. But the disc stays in the exact same spot, the same moment in time. What a song. What a classic. What moment in time. Stay. Okay, here we go. So flashback. Grab. Again. Hip. Here. And now. Boom. And then it's the uncoil. Right? So that's how Paul's doing it. If you guys are going to have the forward pump, you got to do it that way. But that's complicated. Right? I think that that's complicated, personally. There's a lot that can go wrong there. Okay? So, I recommend just having the disc here, right? And then when you come here, it's here. Again, box drill is going to be here. Boom, boom. So I'm just getting it where it's going to be when it comes into the power pocket, into the box. So set it on your left pec. Boom. And this is like Ezra, right? Boom. Who's got some of the cleanest form out there. Boom. And then you do your again. And now we're at the same place that Paul gets. You just got there way simpler. Stretch out that upper body. This is the coil. And then unload. Right? So if you're going to do the forward pump, you got to do it like that. Right? Because it's screwing up a lot of y'all's forms trying to do it the wrong way. What? I don't even know what that is. Is that a GS Mini?
I think he's talking about my guitar.
Oh, no. That's full size.
I just remember it's an E250, whatever that is.
Some Taylor garbage. Actually, they make good guitars.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I got a Martin. I got a little custom Martin at my house.
And cha-chop.
I use the pump timing with my X step to start my timing and reach back. It's like my checkpoint. Good to know the right way now. Yeah, you got to do it. Just strum what you know, bro. Anyways, yeah. So the pump is not to be in like active thing with the arm. It's not like I need to pump my arm forward because I'm going to pump my arm back. No. That's strictly so that he can get his, so he can move around the disc. Right? Again, we can already see, and I haven't even looked at the footwork here. I just saw the forward pump. As we go here, good. Good. And then, not good. All right. Not good. Why? Because it's already starting to turn back. Right? And when you start turning, look at the hips. Look at the hips go. Whoop. See this? There it is. Full circle. From now on, if you send me, I don't care if you're paying us $15, $50, $75. If you send me this same thing from before and you hadn't looked at it and told yourself that, oh, I'm doing that thing that Josh harped on, you know, these 10 people doing, which is this right here. No sympathy. I'm just going to cut you from the team. You're cut. I'm not actually going to do that, but yeah. So it's here. Here's the issue again. It's the footwork. This is causing you to get back early. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, and this, with the upper body, this is a pull, right? You end up drawing the bow here. You can actually see with your left hand up here. Look at the distance here. See how that's drawing the bow? So two actual things here. Display mode. All right. Again, this is what the box drill is trying to fix. So I'd work on this. This when you're back here and you go. Right now, if you're too far back with your hips, the only way to get this thing forward is because your hip mobility can only go this far. So to get it from here to here, you have to draw the bow and you have to pull, or you have to do something really weird where you're like facing back the whole time, right? So that's why I'm really harping on the footwork here, is because you've got to get to where you're not facing that way, right? It's got to be about, you know, 730, something like that, or about 45 off of center. So we go 45 off of center here, and we go 45 off of center the opposite way, right? And then we follow through. So that's the footwork. Got to do that. And the drawing the bow thing is the box drill, right? Instead of doing this, right? This is not a very strong motion. This, and that's why I'm not, this is what most people do when they think of pulling a lawnmower. They think of drawing the bow. They grab the pole on the lawnmower and they go, whew, draw it. Most people don't start a lawnmower like this, like, whew, right? I wish they did. Make a lot of people's disc golf a lot better. But anyway, so you're drawing the bow a little bit. What else was I going to say? Yeah, and that's partly because I mean, the easiest way to do it is do the box drill and just keep everything kind of here, right? And if you pull everything right, that's okay, right, in the beginning, but just get, you know, like mega distance to the right? At least make it feel good going out to the right in some field, and then you can adjust it, right? So it's better for you to go here and have your rotation finish later than to go here and for it to stop earlier so that you have to use arm. Probably. So, boom. I think that's all I got to say for you, Corwin. What is no? What is this? What are you taking a call?
I just asked.
Ask what?
Does Josh voice freak you out?
No, 100%. That's right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it is. You guys should be weirded out. It is kind of weird, isn't it? For normal people.
Well, we've got a good community.
Yeah. I just look at stuff like athletically. Like somebody posted on one of the videos, like, you know what would make being athletic, more athletic in disc golf easier? If you lost 40 pounds.
That was Corin, right?
Corwin didn't write that, but that was Corwin that we reviewed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, Agreed. Like, I can look at my body pretty objectively and say, like, if I were skinnier, I'd probably be able to throw further, probably be being athletic a whole lot easier. And I just look at stuff objectively, like, that's just the way it is. So, by the way, I pinned that guy's comment, and then the next day he deleted it because he was getting too much flack and he couldn't hang in the kitchen.
What a tool.
Couldn't hang. Bro, you think he's going to trash talk me worse than I trash talk myself? Get out of here. That's light work, baby. Those are rookie numbers. I am back on the keto train, Nick. So, I'm down a bit, but no big deal. That was my burner account. You should have seen it through, Ben. All right, who's next?
That cracks me up. Who is next?
This would be Brian. This would be I'm Not Brian. Brian. This is the I'm Not Brian from my Discord.
I'm not Brian.
Okay, I'm going to dress the nose up first, right? Again, going to zoom in here. Well, it's kind of blurry, but you guys can see it. He's saying, I don't want your stinking soup. Again, we're going to say, I want some soup, right? And that's how we're going to do it.
Real fast. Pixelimp's been asking about this for a while. It's like asking why he pulls it to the right.
Can we... Oh. Why you pull it to the right? Honestly, I already deleted your video, so I have to look at it and find out. But I was also pulling to the right for a while, and it's because I was focused on getting, this kind of full extension and making sure that my body opened up, but I just did it late. Right? And so what happens is if you throw properly with some pretty good, disc pivot, right? If you watch my second throw on Twirly Bird, you'll see my disc comes out like, I hit it like here, and the disc goes from here, and it goes whoop and corrects forward, right? So if you get any kind of snap or anything like that, and you get a disc pivot, and you're throwing at 12 instead of 10, right? You're just throwing out late, right? And so you get this little control, you get this grip lock here, and we call it grip lock, and it goes this way, right? But actually, the correct throw is just grip lock at 10 o'clock, right? So the chances are is you're not hitting at the right time, right? You're not hitting early enough, which is about 10, and that's really, really, really hard to force yourself to do, is to really think like, okay, the goal isn't actually like 12 o'clock, it's more like here, which is like 45 degrees off, right? Boom. And then it like grip locks its way over there. So I can't say for sure, but yeah. Hope that helped. Everybody needs soup. We all need some soup.
I put out a poll.
We're just getting so much merch content right now. Do you need some soup? Yeah. Don't end it yet. Let it keep going.
Oh, I'm gonna let it go.
I haven't eaten yet today. You guys make me hungry.
Soup Nation.
Overthrows Soup Nation. Soup. Yeah, not Soup Nation. It's Soup Nation. That's it. Guys, I had the coolest idea. I gotta tell you. Meant to ask if Soup Nation can cause pulling to the right. Attempted a couple times, but was pulling too much. Probably what happened, did you get like crazy snap and it pulled to the right? Because what happens if you start supinating the disc, because you're going here, like when you do this, watch my arm. Boom, right? There's this little snap point. Let me go here. Right? If you supinate too much, you get a nice little and you get some snap. Right? And that can cause that little extra snap in that hip can cause you to actually get that controlled grip lock that I'm talking about where it goes off to the right. And so you're probably not used to having that much snap and all that come out, and for you actually to get the disc pivot, which pulls the disc right. And until then, you're aiming, like, that was such an aha moment for me, was I was in the field with Mikey, and we had filmed a video, and there's this tree line to the right. We were coming down the opposite side of that field that we come in on. And I was just so focused on, like, maxing it out to that extension that what happened was I shanked it, like, super high.
It went so far right.
And it went so far right, but the thing was mashed.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was just like an aha moment for me. Like, that's a proper throw. Like, that's what the pros are doing. Like, I'm getting snap. I'm just getting it late. So I had to take that same enthusiasm, that same commitment, and start throwing it out to 10 o'clock. Right? And you got to throw it a little left to where you normally aim. And then you start grip locking it at 10 o'clock and it goes at 2, right? And that's why grip locks are some of our furthest throws, because you actually make it happen. Corwin, we just did yours. So take this timestamp and go back if you need to, because we had just done yours. Yeah. So here we go. He needs some soup. We all need some soup. Soup Nation, what's up? Oh yeah, go here. Again. Backwards foot means that the hips are going back early and the shoulders are going to go back early. Let's watch it unfold. Oh, actually what he does is he ends up just keeping them there. And then he pushes both arms back. Cut. I cut. What? Nick, I have no clue what you're saying. Cut. Yeah, backwards foot again. So this needs to go here. Okay, Mikey, one of our next videos is going to be proper footwork.
Yeah, we should have saved all these videos and did like a compilation of
we still got
all
them.
These backwards foot.
We still got them.
What do you mean?
They're in the email.
That's true.
Just re-download it.
And literally just do like 100 videos of backwards feet.
Yeah.
Like, all you guys do this.
Yeah. Cut. Oh, I already forgot my own reference. Shoot, I did.
Oh. I don't know what it is.
Cut. Yeah, I don't remember. Right, and here it is. Foot here. Check out the front foot starting to open to make up for it. Right? The dreaded toe coming up because you're falling this way. And that all comes back to this moment right here. Right? The weight gets stuck on the right leg. And boom. Right? And allows you to turn that left leg back too far. This is getting kind of redundant at this point, so I don't know if I should just like see it, because this is such a like foundational issue that causes the other things, or maybe it doesn't cause them every time, but it doesn't allow you to do the other things correctly. Because with your hips like this, activity time, I want you to stand up. And I want you to put your legs like imagine there's a basket to your right. I want you to put your left foot backwards. And I want you to put your right foot open. Right? And now I want you to try to rotate your hips. You cannot do it. You cannot do it, right? I've got, I don't know, 6 inches of rotation. You know, half a foot of rotation here. Right? Now, left foot down, pointing to about, not 6 o'clock, but let's go about 7:30, or about, if you're right now, 90, we're going to go about 45 degrees off of that. Boom. All right? And now I want you to take this front toe, if you're righty, right foot, if you're a lefty, left foot, and boom. And now I want you to have here, And so both of your feet should be angled the same direction with your hips here. And now, rotate. Right? It allows you to get, this push off the ground and all this stuff, right? Boom. Oh, cut from the team. I gotcha. Yeah, cut from the team. I was saying in next week's, but yeah. If you send one in, he'd already sent this in before the cut. So yeah, that's what I would work on. Yeah, and look how this angle goes. Only Paul Macbeth can get away with having the disc like this. Boom. Okay, hey, that's not bad. That stays left pec. Boom. Yeah, it looks like you've been doing box drill a little bit. Boom. That's not bad. We're just getting nose up. Hey, and the balance, look at this.
Yeah.
All right, you've been working on some stuff. I see it. Right, now we just got to get some soup. Get the footwork going. No moonwalking. That's it.
And that was Brian.
That was I'm Not Brian.
Brian, I'm not Brian. Boom. Shakalaka.
Okay, who's this?
That is
Carl.
Carl.
Carl Lewis or something is his username. Oh! Dang, this guy looks athletic. Dude, you look like you can throw, brother. What do you do, Carl? This guy is a multi-sport athlete. He lifts like this guy.
This guy's the
or he's got some sick genetics.
He's about to chuck it.
I'll talk about. Ask me about grip after this. But how's the booty? Can't see it yet.
Oh,
good. He doesn't skip squats.
He doesn't skip squat day.
Is this why I throw almost as far in standstills as I do with the run up? Yeah, because the walk up lets you get backwards, right? So you're probably actually using your hips in your standstill and not using your hips in your walk up. How's the huck face? I think it's gonna be tasty.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
Ooh, oh yeah.
Is that his tongue?
That's his tongue.
Bro, that's sick.
He went full red snapper on it.
What a beast.
I think that's a red snapper's stomach. When you catch a red snapper deep sea fishing, they had their stomach going out because you reeled them in so quick. Okay. Gosh, this guy looks athletic, bro. Here it is.
Let's see.
You see this right here? Dang, that looks like a dance move. Chew. Look at his legs. Watch this. Book, 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 book.
Focus, Josh.
Yeah. Well, there's a point to this. The leg. Rinse and repeat, right? But that's his right leg gets back.
Angle.
No, that's his right leg getting back early. No, I mean look at his hips.
Oh, yeah.
Already facing backwards.
Yeah.
Right? So he turns even earlier. Boom. So that was his right leg. Now comes over the crossover step, and it stays turned. All right? And now we're at full. All of it away from the target at 6 o'clock. Curious how I can purposely grip lock at 10 and not mess up that bad. You're going to mess up bad to start, and then you're going to keep trying. And then you won't mess up that bad. Before you're, great, you got to be good. Before you're good, you got to be okay. Before you're okay, you got to be bad. Before you're bad, you got to try. And then here comes the open front foot. Let's see it. Yeah, look, the foot twist. Same exact thing. Right? We just did that same thing. There. Now, again, just like our last example, the upper body is looking, let's see, pretty loose. Yeah, hey, look at this. Look at this, though. Look at this. Oh. Okay, I want you to guess right now. Does this guy like soup or does this guy not like soup? Okay, okay. Here we go. Your time's up. Let me say first, before we get there, that this right here looks pretty solid upper body wise. Look at that. Into the left pec, got this nice little box going, like the box drill. Opening up. He opens up his elbow here a little bit, right? He draws the bow just a touch at the end, looks like. Now, it could be camera angle, but I don't think it is, right? And so now he goes like here and then here. Right, so maybe got to work on the box drill just a touch more. Boom. And does he like soup? Oh. What? No. No soup for you. Can I have
I've got a question.
Can I have some more, sir?
Is it like, do I do the soup thing? Because I do the pour the coffee to keep my nose
Yeah.
in.
So let's talk about. There are two trains of thought, and they're doing the same thing in ball golf.
Let me see this. I want to see what I do.
There was some soup to begin with, but what you finish with is almost more important because what you finish with tells you if you're turning.
Because by the time I release, I'm like, oh, that's nose up, but I don't throw nose up, so I must be like this. But I think I just follow this.
Well, on a hyzer, it's slightly different, right? If you go at the hyzer angle, like if you did hyzer, that's not nose up, right? Nose up for a hyzer would be this.
Right. No, that's because I pour the soup. That's just because I try to keep it in line.
Pour
with
the
my
soup?
forearm. I pour the soup. No, bro, because I just try to keep it in line with like my.
Yeah. So there's two ways, right? There's a. So in golf, they talk about this too. Let me find a tennis club.
Oh, good luck. That door's been interesting.
Got it.
Got it.
So in golf, they talk about this too, right? There's two ways to, make this happen. Some guys keep it loose here, right? And then they come through, and I'm not a golfer. I just watched golf videos, right? Right, and so some guys here, they go, and they have wrists loose like this, and then they come back, and then when they come in, they let the, lag and all that from the club go down. Maybe I should do it like this. And then, like, push their wrists down as they come in with the lag, right? And so then they talk about, supinating a little bit to make sure that they don't like slice or hook the ball or whatever. And so people like Bryson DeChambeau have talked about, well, instead of doing that, and he's a huge hitter, they keep the club in the same spot, right? Because they measure their distance here. So they keep the club in the same spot. If this was golf ball, right? They keep the club. Oh, you can't even see that. Zoop. If this blue thing here is golf ball. So some guys have their measure here and they keep the wrists loose and then they do their swing, right? People like Bryson DeChambeau, they go here, and because the wrist is supposed to be in this position at contact, they go ahead and start with their club here and then they lift their hands, right? And get this motion here. So again, golf ball here. So some guys have it loose here and then they measure that way, and some guys go and lift the club here so they get this bend, right? That's the equivalent in disc golf of pouring the coffee or not pouring the coffee, right? So I think we're going to find that two different schools of thought work there, Mikey. Because look, if you start with pouring the coffee here,
yeah,
and you box and unbox nose down,
yeah,
right? But there's tension there, but it allows you to keep it on the same plane. So some guys like this because it's definitely going to be nose down by the time you get here, right? But the guys who keep it loose have to supinate, right? And everybody supinates to an extent unless they pour the coffee and then they like throw on hyzer, right?
What I like about that is you can kind of stay looser, which in turn is going to help with distance.
Yeah, but if you go here, but the supinators, the supinator muscles aren't very strong, and you limit your mobility on the back on the follow through with the supination, right? So if you pour the coffee, you get the tension here, but what happens is that in exchange for that tension, you get you can come and follow through further, because when your hand's down like this, you just naturally follow through more. So either is acceptable, but if you don't pour the coffee, you have to supinate.
Oh, did we?
Oh, did you pull in the wrong? Oh, the same old. Oh, did we use old footage of Corwin?
I have no idea.
Josh, I'll bring my fiance down and play tennis against you. She was #1 seed in her tiny high school.
Oh, you know what? Corwin had like 50,000 videos, and I didn't realize there was a difference because it was the same folder.
Well, Corwin didn't actually do all those things wrong. Corwin, what'll happen is with you, let's hook up in the message me on Discord, and we'll do a one-on-one to make up for any kind of humiliation.
Humiliation, man.
He didn't actually do that. He did it perfectly. You guys, we just didn't know. So he probably did it perfectly. So yeah, same thing here as the previous. And I hate to like just skim through these because it's the same thing, but I've really talked in depth about the same issue over and over again. So I don't want to spend a bunch of time here because literally same issue. Somebody give me a new interesting issue.
That was...
Okay, I need to know when Patrick hops on too. We're going to do Patrick's last. So we're going to do Terry now. And this one started black too? Oh yeah, it did. Slow-mo the slow-mo? No, we'll just go normal. Oh, yeah, here we go. Slow-mo.
I can download the video, bro. It's easy.
Okay, make it happen.
I got it.
Make it happen.
Corwin, right?
Yeah, Corwin.
Corwin's the only one we got to do it for. Or do we got to do it for anyone else?
Okay, that was a tiny forward pump. Tiny forward pump. And rip. There it is. See, the hop here is supposed to... If you hop, you got to get that foot right here. It's got to just tuck behind the other one. That's what the good thing about the hop is it lets you tuck nice. Let's see the rest. And then the foot. Dude, look at his toe off that shoe. Yeah, it's funny because the toe makes him look like he's planting closed, but he's not.
Oh, I see. This is...
It's planted open.
Pick?
Oh, shoot. I don't know.
I told you. So many.
Corwin.
Is this the most recent? Like this one?
How
can you even tell? No, not by name. We need to do it.
Yo, were you playing in your most recent one? Were you playing at
Was there dirt?
What's that park called? That's in Charlotte. That's a hole in Charlotte. In what's that little putter course?
I guess to see his response, we'll have to do this. New ones are same location as Brian's. Just look for date uploaded. It's weird. It's not showing the date uploaded. See, no matter what I do.
Yeah. Can you like right click or something? I'm gonna keep going through this while you figure out. Is there info? View details.
Modify.
May 16th. No, so we gotta go the opposite way.
Opposite way, I guess.
Come on, Mikey. How am I the techie?
Relax, bro.
How am I the techie? Find the information.
Is June
That's
27th?
it. That's it.
Okay, should we do the sideways one then? June 28th?
Sideways.
Boom.
Sideways.
Right,
now, I talked to you. I've hyped you up, Foreman, so I'm hoping that you're not going to get that foot going backwards. Okay, again, same issue here. Check this out. Backwards plant. Open foot. which means no hip rotation is going to be allowed, right? It's very minimal hip rotation.
This is about to mess you up.
Okay, I'm going to wait.
All right, now you can just go back to that, and then you'll just do your normal import.
Okay.
Sound good? Sound good.
Yep.
Good job. Let's do it.
So again, I understand we have some new viewers, so I'm going to go through on the footwork. One more time, mid to late stream here. So again, let me face you and do it first. What you want? Hiya! Let me face you and do it first. So forward step,
I hope he pees on you.
forward step, perpendicular-ish. Let me scoot back so you can see it. Perpendicular-ish. And now this one's going to go right behind this foot. And then boom. Right? And this foot can end up being somewhere about perpendicular. It's better to err on more perpendicular than you need than to go further back than you need. Right? Whoop. So sideways. Here. 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 Hop. Here. Right? And you get to load. Boom. So that's how I would focus on that. Terry.
Does Terry have the same issue too?
Put it in reverse, Terry.
Put it in reverse, Terry!
Same issue. Literally everybody has the same issue.
That is insane.
Yeah, now we got to make a video on this.
Yeah.
On the walk up. Because, and this is how I come to some video ideas. Is just sometimes people got all the same stuff. Okay, let me import. Is it on camera roll?
Yep. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Good luck.
Sideways.
Oh, it's going to be, looks like the same. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Here we go, Corwin.
Oh, we got
Gotcha. Okay, Corwin is not going to let us down.
Oh, it's raining. What a beast.
That's it. No excuses.
Dedication.
Yeah, and look what he does before this. A lot of people do this. The hand to get the grip correct. Right? I got to talk about grip after this.
Hey.
Yeah.
Relax. All right. now I got you.
Okay.
You're gonna have to redo that.
Hand to get the grip correct. A lot of people do that. I'm not so sure that that's not just a hack. But, yeah. If you go to the loose, then pour method, when should you start pouring on the follow-through? No, you don't. It's either or, basically. You either pour back here, or you go loose, and then you have to supinate. Okay. So anyways, talk about grip later. Here we go. Corwin to save the day. Ah!
Is it as bad though?
Is it as bad? We could always pull up his other one and compare. Oh, but I think I deleted it already.
Deleted it.
Yeah. So this front foot starts going a little early, just like last time. And so here's the thing, is like no matter what happens next, even if you end up doing the rest of it correct, your hips, at least at some point, have already gone back before they were supposed to. So even if they twirl around here and go like that, it's inefficient. Because then they have to go swing back, swing forward, swing back, swing forward, right? So let's see. No. I thought maybe there was a chance that would get knocked backwards. Corwin? I'm gonna tell you this right now, because I love you, man. If you want to live, you should probably not wear Crocs in a form review video. I'm not gonna roast you for it, but these guys on here, they're ruthless. They're gonna destroy you for Crocs.
I think they look good. Those are some stable shoes right there.
At least you got them in sports mode with the strap up.
Crocs rock.
Dude, I do need a pair of Crocs though.
Well, let's let the people speak for themselves.
There it is, backwards.
How do you spell
forward? Yeah, same thing. But, okay, now let's look up here, because I know we talked about your upper body last time. That's it. Yeah. You spelling it right? Left hand. Okay, I see you trying to hold your head back and trying to make sure that this is good here, that you're not pulling. Looks like you worked on that. So improvement, props. Nose up still. So, again, no soup for you. All right. So we just did how many of those form reviews? You know who's got to save us? Patrick.
Let's go, Patty.
I'm pretty sure Patrick's not going to mess this up.
The pat that smile.
We can't see. Oh, what can't they see?
Well, I was a little bit late on the transition. They saw like nose up, and
oh, I just deleted it.
No, they saw more than you think.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Still the same issues.
Now, yeah, I've actually already seen this video. Patrick and I have had some lessons and stuff together. And the reason I have it in here, can't see video. How about now? Because I know we're on a little bit of a delay.
Yep.
But Patrick and I, yeah, Patrick destroyed Eric and I at New London. Or New London destroyed all of us and just destroyed Patrick less. Because he played like 250-foot shots, 300-foot shots
on the
every
fairway.
time, and they were on the fairway. And I was out there just like mashing into OB.
Yep.
I've seen actually somebody wear like 5-finger shoe. My buddy Aaron has done it. So Patrick, the reason I left Patrick in here, even though he and I have already reviewed this separately, is because there's some really, that's some wonky form.
It's just no. Go backwards.
I know. Okay, so here's Patrick. Now look, his foot gets backwards, but it's not all the way backwards. Save us, Patrick. And his foot's closed up here. See this? Closed. Now, I know Patrick's going to watch this, so maybe this foot can be just a touch more closed, Patrick. Here, and that might help. Get a little more hips involved. But Patrick actually starts this pool with his arms. Right, and the reason I'm telling you guys this, but Patrick likes soup. You see this? Patrick, boom. There you are. Yeah. So you could have this foot pointing this way a little bit more, Patrick, and that might help some of the things that we talked about in our private message. With some like hip stuff, but Patrick doesn't have a lot of hip mobility. He was saying that he's got basically none. And the three things that we have to decide, and this is up to Patrick, is like, if even with proper footwork, right, let's see how much hip rotation you can get with this foot not being so far back, but a little more this way. So a little more to the 45. With proper footwork, if you just have no mobility, right, we got to say, like, what can we do if we want to add more distance? Now, Patrick, in my opinion, has enough distance. And so, but it doesn't matter what I want. It matters what Patrick wants to do, right? So if Patrick wants more distance, we've got to figure out how to do it. So he can either decide, I don't want more distance, I'm going to work on accuracy, right? And so he would have to, if he has very limited hip mobility, then he's going to have to use his upper body to some extent, right? And so knowing that, he can try to get as accurate as possible with his upper body and not really add distance. That's option one. And Paul can separate his upper body from his lower body extremely well. So that option's there. The other thing is you might figure out, okay, well, how can I increase my mobility of my hips? Go to a PT, whatever, increase that. Third option is start doing improper form that will allow you to open up your hips. And this is something that we've talked about a lot on this stream, is how do people, when they close themselves off too much, what tool does their body utilize to increase the range of motion of their hips? I'll give you 3 seconds to think of the answer. 2, 1. Congratulations, that's wrong. No. If you said that they could open up this front foot more and increase the range of motion, you're correct. Right? So Patrick might look at, if he decides that he wants more distance, he might decide that he doesn't close off his hips so much, and then he starts planting that front foot open more, and then learns how to control that, however that works, right? And I don't know exactly how to make that work yet. But if you have no hip mobility, like you just know, you stand here and you go like this, and you can't rotate your hips just standing here, then you got to decide, okay, do I work with that, or do I find a way to make this work with hip mobility? And so that's why I left Patrick in there, is because you've always got to find out, like, if you've got some kind of physical limitation, like immobile hips, which is pretty important for disc golf, then you got to make an adjustment. So yeah. Just in case you guys are wondering, it was a no on the Crocs for disc golf.
Oh,
sure you guys saw
see.
it. All right. All right, and that's it for form reviews. That's it for form reviews. So our next videos are going to be probably on nose angle. Oh, no comment. So it's either gonna be nose angle or it's gonna be walk up, I think, are the two videos that we like definitely solidified today, saying like we should work on those. But Jason, everybody does fieldwork videos. Ours, I think, was probably the best fieldwork video of all time, objectively. I know
Obviously.
you have to say that with some bias, but
no, it was good, bro.
But it was good. We just had, it was pretty cool. The junior tour Facebook page, the national junior tour.
Was?
Yeah.
Oh.
They just like shared it. So yeah, but Hunter had some like things that we didn't cover in our video, and Paul has his own fieldwork video. Everybody does a fieldwork video at some point. So
yeah.
So yeah. Eagle did one, Paul did one, Foundation's done one, we've done one. Has Danny Disc done one? Probably everybody at some point does a nose angle video, a fieldwork video, a distance video. We're all just trying to teach things different ways and see what we value. Josh and Mikey, when we plan.
What, tennis or disc golf?
Also, win or you lose. If your fiance was number one at a small high school, I would give you free lessons if she beat me. But do you do form checks for non-Patreons? No, we are just doing it through Patreon. My goal was to like funnel everything in there. Super busy season for me. Summer with my full-time tennis gig. So show her that. I hope she gets fired up. And then bring it. Because I got no qualms about whooping up on a girl. I will just, if it's a competition, I'm a...
Equal treatment.
Barella did a pro tip video about touching the knees together. Yeah, you know, Paige Pierce, I mean, there are a lot of guys that keep their knees like super close together. And like the base gets wide, like the legs get wide, but the closer your knees are together, kind of faster you can twist, right? Anyways.
I feel like that's,
Pew!
I mean, I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but like, it's a little harder for guys.
Oh, yeah. Mikey, what are you talking about, dude? Why you always got to go there with like anatomy and stuff?
Like, I'm not about to
this guy talking about people's booties.
Trying to squish my knees together. That ain't happening.
Yeah. So. Anyway, me wearing Crocs is why I have ankle pain in my left ankle in the evenings.
Yes.
I don't know if saying yes will make you...
Dude, okay, think about it. Like, no arch support, no, like, support whatsoever. Like, there's no sideways support. Absolutely, that's causing issues. Ain't no way it's not.
Absolutely. I have to agree with Mikey. Is there an echo? Oh, I'm hearing from here.
You are, sorry. Let me just put these on still.
So, yeah. Hey, had some really cool... let me talk to you guys about some cool ideas that we've had. So, one... I thought it'd be really cool, and you heard it here first, folks, if we did, like, sub-battles. And so, if, like, we took some of our subs, and we challenged, like where are you at, Deep Roots Disc Golf? And, or, you know, wherever we can get, if we could get people close together, I guess it'd have to be a channel close. So this would be for something like Foundation at some point. Like, I'd love for it to be like an ongoing thing with Foundation at some point. To have, you know, overthrow subs versus Foundation subs. And we'd have a recreational, an intermediate, and an advanced. And then they do match play against each other. And so you got Team Overthrow versus Team Foundation. And
Soup Nation
versus Soup Nation versus Foundation Nation. All right. Foundation's got like wicked subs, dude. They got like almost 60,000 probably. So
obviously kidding, bro.
Gonna need merch because I got a bunch of Foundation merch. Yeah, and so you'd have to choose like which team you're gonna be on, right? You can't be team hopping here. It's like there are now 2 Lynchburg teams, or you know, as far as they're concerned, there's only one Lynchburg team because they're like way bigger than we are.
Is this a new way to wear headphones?
Yeah. Looks like an old sweatband.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, we should look into merch.
Yeah.
That's the point.
We got it so easy, dude. I come up with some designs. Your wife come up with some designs, bro.
Yeah.
Those sell like fire. Like
yeah.
Cheesecake.
Oh, dude, I love being the underdog, bro. I cannot tell you how much I love being the underdog. Like,
he's like Gary V, man.
Dude, if you put a chip on my shoulder, bro, I'm gonna be on fire. Like, I'll just take on the world. What? You got Mickey Mouse ears. What's the deal with that? So are you playing the Battle for Bedford? No, I don't have weekends off. But we do have something. I got to get a weekend off in the future because we got something super sick lined up that we can't tell you guys about yet.
Oh, yeah.
But it's super sick. So for you, those you guys who can make it, what's the weekend? October 6th through 9th, right? Is USDGC?
Yeah.
So September
27th.
That weekend, if you are in our Discord.
Until, you know, maybe a little bit. A couple days after the 29th or something like that. But
well, I'm saying if they're in our Discord, you guys will be looking at. So I don't want to go too much into that, but Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be great.
It's crazy.
It's gonna be insane. So we got moves. We're making things happen behind the scenes, and we got some cool stuff lined up for you guys. Whenever I have time in between my 50-hour work week and making this stuff happen, we're grinding. We're trying to put out the good content for you guys. Super grateful. Still hungry. We certainly haven't made it. We're almost at 8,000 subs. I can't see it right now.
I can't either
Where are we
because
at?
all my stuff is being used.
My phone's right here.
Yeah, use your phone. I want to see the analytics. I've been dying. But the analytic light.
Oh, we're not gonna make it. No, that's not it. But no way, right?
Oh!
We're at 7,932 subs.
I mean, that's close.
Right? So we're almost at 8,000 subs. Last week where we were, last Monday, we weren't even at 6,000. So it's been crazy. Do you do forehand reviews too? Absolutely. Do all sorts of reviews. Forehand, backhand, overhand, whatever you got, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I mean, there's everything.
You want a thumber review?
Just don't. I would say send me a putt, but right now my putting. If you guys watch the color coding, you saw how bad my putting was. I'm on day 22. I think I'm day 22. I've been putting every day, and I'm gonna putt for 30 days. See what happens. So I'm on day 22 of putting right now, and I've been documenting the whole thing. So I think what's gonna happen with that is we're gonna make a I putted for 30 days and here's what I learned or whatever. And we'll put that video on YouTube, and then we'll put up, daily stuff from that on the Patreon. It'd be some bonus content. Philo grip question bump.
Oh, yeah, he's trying to remind you of that.
Oh, the four-finger. You said Philo was trash in the four-finger grip. Here's the thing. Is the most important part, in my opinion, for the grip right now is that you have some kind of point, like where you see it. Okay, watch the very beginning. Can we watch that? Can we pull up a YouTube video?
Yeah. I'm on it.
Can you pull up Eagles Trail? It's from Jomez.
Oh,
There it is. Yeah, in the very beginning.
When I walk up to the tee,
Okay, Bushnell, you get it. Oh, you don't get an ad. You just get audio.
yeah, I'm about to switch over.
Yeah. Go back to the very beginning.
Okay.
I hope that's not too loud for you guys, but.
I wish I could change properties. MacBook Pro.
Uh-oh. This looks sketchy, changing stuff.
Yeah, but just give me...
I don't need audio, I just need visual.
Well, I'll give you visuals. Give me a second. Okay.
Yeah, I want to show you guys something super interesting.
Window.
That kind of confirms something that I've been looking at and thinking about. Or I feel like it confirms it. You guys might not feel
now
it.
we chill.
Okay. Yep, can you mute it right here? Pause and mute. Go back.
Okay.
Or let me do this. And they're seeing this, right?
Yeah, they're seeing it.
Okay, look at his grip right here. I want you to notice what he does. Right here. This. He literally has just the finger lock. He's doing this. They can see me. So
yeah.
He does this. He's got the disc here and he goes like this. And he's got it here. Right? And now watch this. Boom. And so he's playing with it like that. Loosen his hand. And now he's got it here. And that same little lock he's going to have there. And he's going to throw in a second. Sorry, one second. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Let's see it.
Question.
Look at this. You can hardly see it. I mean, you guys should go back and watch this. But right now, his disc is just here. It's not even in the back of his hand like this. Right? His disc is just here at the moment. Okay, we're going to go back.
Oh, you go back?
Yeah, I'm going to... Oh.
Oh, because it's not clicked.
Go ahead. Okay. Boom. Oh, my gosh. Look at that. Disc not in the back of the hand. Look, he's spinning it around this point. Right here. Look at that. And then boom. And then he throws it further than most of you. I was joking. But he rips it. The kid rips it. And this is most often in sports, the thing that's natural to the body and the thing that's loose is the correct thing. Okay? So he was going in and out like this, okay? This is the most important thing of the grip. At that young age, he had the most important thing figured out, is that the disc needs to be able to move like this, right? So either like that, or Michael Johansson has a video with Discraft on grip or something like that. And then fan grip people, when they do it like this, they can still see me, right? Even though your little window's up. Yeah. Right, now that same point is just in between these two fingers like this, right? Boom. So the disc needs to be able to do that. It needs to be able to do that when you go to throw normal, because that's how it's going to come out. Boom. So the most important thing for your grip, in my opinion, where I'm totally convinced right now, is that it has this point. You should be able to do this, or with two fingers, do that. Whatever it is, it needs to have some kind of point for it to come around, right? So that means that this point is the most important, and the rest of it really doesn't matter all that much, right? Drew Gibson, 3 fingers, right? Small hands, but he's going to have this same lock, right? So that's the most important thing, right? And then you can supinate if you need to pull the nose down, right? I think there's going to be grip within reason beyond that. So that's what I want to show you guys. Oh yeah, can I see that? If you have a consistent release point, does it matter? Right, I don't think it matters like that much, as long as the nose is down and you got the yeah, sorry, I'm reading chat, but that's it. Yeah, thanks, Zax. So anyways, that's where I'm at with grip right now, and I think it was just so interesting to see that that's how Eagles started, which is totally natural, right? And that you don't want all this pressure in the beginning. I'd like to ask a bunch of pros when they put pressure in, and I also want to start doing this series called like the experiments, or something like that. But that's the idea, is where we just experiment, like just gripping super solid in the beginning and all the way through the throw, or being super loose, or just gripping into the hit. But I think what actually happens is just like with a tennis racket. Like you stay super loose, and then before contact's made, your arm naturally tightens up a little bit, right? And you got to keep it from tightening up too much in sports. It's always don't tighten up too much. Don't like choke the grip. Don't, with the baseball bat, it's not like killing that grip, because that tension destroys fluidity, which is speed, which is distance, right? So I think it's most important that. And then beyond that, whatever helps you, keep it loose, right? And you can actually throw like most of your distance. Like if you haven't tried just the 3-finger grip, try it. Like just get that thing and just see what happens. right? And it doesn't really change it that much, right? The thing is, some people go from a 4-finger grip to a 3-finger grip, and they throw further because there's less pressure allowing the disc to rotate more, and they let it happen like that. It's just less solid of a grip, so it lets it, pivot and rotate more. So, anyways, that's what I think about grip. I think we've hit everything. Guys, you're awesome. We've got to get some stuff recorded. We're going to try to fancy up
Or Patreon.
Yeah, if you go out and throw with a 1-finger grip versus a power grip, I'm switching. Yeah, you very well could throw further, right? And you don't have to throw it all out and just go straight to 1 finger because you want some stability, but you'll feel some snap throwing just like this. Like when I was trying to feel that originally, I started doing this and started throwing in the field just like boom, and it started going snap, snap, snap.
I have strong thoughts on this, and I didn't know I did. My strong thoughts are, if it's anything like tennis, sometimes I did that drill where you would just use 1 finger or like two fingers or 3 fingers to get that feeling of looseness. But, at the end of the day, you just want to recreate that loose feeling and have a good point of contact. So, you may throw better with 3 fingers and get that snap because you're not used to this being so loose here.
Right.
But really, it's not because it's a 3-finger power grip.
It's because it's more loose.
It's more loose.
Yeah.
So just take that same idea and just apply it, that same feeling, to your 4-finger grip. That's every time I do my biggest throws, it's always really loose.
Right.
And every time I'm maxing out at 400, it's always just tight. 100% of the time. My best throws are always the really loose ones, and I'm just like super chill, relaxed with everything. Arm and wrist.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like Pixel is saying here, is like once it gets uncomfortable, there's like a difference between something being uncomfortable because you haven't done it before and because it's different, and you've got to decide that, different doesn't mean uncomfortable, right? Uncomfortable means uncomfortable. So if you have 4 fingers on, it's uncomfortable, go to 3 and make it comfortable. Right? So oftentimes what's most comfortable for your body is also going to be most efficient for your body within reason. How to prevent it slipping out early when loose. It's not about it slipping out. It's not about it slipping out early. Doesn't happen because it's loose, right? Because you're naturally going to tense up a little bit at that hit. When the disc slips out early, like when you throw and it just feels like, wow, that thing just literally fell out of my hand, which I've done a lot, it's because your upper body's getting ahead of your lower body, right? So you've only got the very slow motion from your arm, and then you go boom, and then the disc just falls because this is very slow and, rotating is very quick. So, how can I send you a video? First, join our Patreon. The link is in the description here. Second, go to the form review information tab, and it will give you clear instructions on how to do that. So lower than upper body, right? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I went over that pretty extensively, I think, in the hip activation.
That's not controversial, is it? Because like tennis, it's every sport, I feel like.
Every sport is lower body first, right? Because we're creatures, we have to get our force from the ground because we're creatures of gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to make some videos now to clean up our Patreon onboarding. And
Patreon tutorial, baby.
Yeah, we'll catch you cats later. Thanks so much for sharing the videos, liking the videos. It's really big help. I know some disc golfers that I was talking to a guy from another channel this week who's got, who's doing disc golf full time, and he's got, about 15,000 subs, right? So if you're looking for maybe like a benchmark of how many subs you need to go full time, maybe that's a start. And of course, it depends on how you monetize your channel and stuff like that. But if we get you guys sharing, gets us to whatever that point is for us faster. And when that happens, then we do this full time. Right now I'm doing 50 hours of tennis a week. Imagine if I was doing 50 hours of disc golf videos a week, or, you know, overthrow a week. Right. All right, guys, thank you so much. We are grateful for every single one of you. We don't take it for granted. We're still hungry. We're going to pump out more great content. We're going to do our best. And Soup Nation, peace out.